when it comes to politics, the silly season, well, it's well and truly upon us. And in countries like ours, this is the time of year governments and corporations try to sneak a few things through. After all, most of us, well, we're tuned out even more than usual and trying to cope with the consequences of Christmas. The song says it's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be the most stressful and the most distracting. Some say to me they've tuned out on government. They're still looking for someone who makes sense and is focused on the future and the real concerns of today. And they know too many in public life are there for really what they get, not what they can do. And people tell me they're feeling really worn down and worn out, I guess, from the pandemic, but also the uncertainty surrounding our lives. And changing the federal government, well, it didn't give us any certainty, maybe because fewer than a third of Australians voted for the party of the Prime Minister. It's created more uncertainty. However, Australians are giving him a go. The problem for the Prime Minister, though, will be when the fair go creating this current apparent goodwill meets the consequences and betrayal of the policies and decisions he's actually making. You know, goodwill will be displaced by anger. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right now, what looks like good government is really fool's gold. There's very few real nuggets from this federal government. I mean, look at the mess and mayhem being created when it comes to power generation. The Glib promise to lower power prices before the federal election, well, it's triggered a panic power policy position. It's all likely to cost us dearly in the short, the medium and especially the long term. The Albanese government, well, it's misleading us at best and downright incompetent at worst. And I guess time will provide us with evidence to prove that their paranoia about carbon is going to cost us jobs and it's going to cost us our standard of living. There's going to be blackouts, power fades or brownouts, and there'll be a loss of investment in our country as well. And on top of this, the Prime Minister would have us believe to improve our environment, we should tear down trees to put up wind and solar industrial installations. I won't call them farms. Bizarre, the whole thing. And this rushed announcement to cap gas and coal prices at a time when we're restricting supply so the market will pay more for it. The world wants more. They're going to pay more. It actually shows the government is more interested in caressing and pulling economic levers than good public policy. And aesthetically, we're also, or aesthetically, it is actually anaesthetic as well. Aesthetically, we're also ruining our countryside. And this week, these numpties deliberately declared a project of national importance to inflict wind turbines off the Gippsland coast, which are going to kill migratory birds. I mean, just how environmental are they? And this is from a government which won't build dams and water supply for water supply and flood mitigation because they say it's environmental vandalism. What absolute bunk. The government is hoping we don't notice or have given up caring about their sinister abolition of the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, an independent body which reviews government decisions. And they claim there's too many political appointees. However, there's a balance of left and right on the AAT, and it's also filled with people with legitimate legal, community and ethical backgrounds. The political appointees' objection, I think, is pretty interesting, but they see nothing unusual when the Prime Minister appointed the very erratic Kevin Rudd, our ambassador to the United States. I thought the US was our very best of friends. Meanwhile, Foreign Minister Penny Wong, she met her Chinese counterpart, Minister Wang. It's a welcome step to repair the damaged relationship with China, and there's a long, long way to go, but we'll get there as trade with China, as you see, has been happening since 1788, when food grown in China actually sustained the fledgling Sydney Cove settlement. But Labor will have you believe nothing happened with China till the dysfunctional Whitlam government came along 50 years ago. It's the vibe. It's government by the vibe. Albo may be Santa to his mates, and Grinches, well, they're banned from giving coal to bad children. But for most of us, this is going to be a tough year ahead.